Welcome back still this morning on Night TV, and this segment will surely be talking with Honorable Joshua Chinedu Obika. That's the House of Rep elect Amakwari Federal Constituency. As we look at the sustaining the gains of the Knights Assembly. Honorable, it's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Good morning, Tony. Good morning, viewers. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so much to really talk about right there, because as we're looking forward to the 10th Assembly, there has been so much permutation going on as we're looking to issue about consensus candidate and all the rest. But first, let me take you from this perspective. What are the benefits of having a consensus candidate?
Well, the benefit of having a consensus candidate shows that everyone has agreed on a particular candidate, and that makes it easy for everyone. That is just what it is.
But is it good for democracy?
I think in democracy, consensus is part of it. When all have agreed, is for the benefit of all. For everyone to agree, that means everyone has looked at it holistically and come to the conclusion that this is what is good for all of us. But when there's no consensus and the people assume that there is consensus, that is when there is problem.
The beauty of democracy is the fact that people with different interests can be able to see how they can align and bring out the best that will represent the interest of the people.
Yes.
As we're looking forward to the 10th Assembly, so much we know what happened in the 9th Assembly, how the major party, the ruling party, were able to ensure that the internal democracy is carried in the sense that the candidate they endorsed emerged as a Senate President and also as the Speaker of the House. And as we're looking forward to the 10th Assembly right now, there has been pockets of consultations here and there where people have been voicing out their opinion concerning a consensus candidate or not. And some people have also been coming out to say, we don't want the consensus candidate. We want a candidate that will be elected by the Senate or by the House of Rep. What's your take on this?
There can be consensus candidates, but it depends on how this consensus candidate emerges.
Yeah.
For one, me as a new member elect of the 10th Assembly, I think that the first duty that I will perform for Nigeria and for the people of my constituency is to elect the leadership of the 10th Assembly. And in doing that, if someone or a group of people, be it in the name of party or leadership of any group, we sit down somewhere, not only to zone, but also to micro-zone down to a particular individual, that is against my belief as a Democrat. I would have worked with it if you have said you zone this thing to the Northwest and allow the members to determine on who becomes the Speaker among their colleagues from the Northwest zone. I, for one, if you ask me, I will say that the zone where I come from is marginalized. And that is not central. That is not central zone.
Exactly.
That is where I come from. Today, there is nothing for North Central zone. But we're not even looking at that. Because I am a member of New Vision that is supporting Betara. But today, that New Vision has come under the minority caucus. And we have G7. All these are qualified members that are aspiring to the position of the Speaker of the 10th Assembly. Tajudeen is qualified just as well as all other 7 members are qualified also. My personal issue with it is that I cannot support anyone that is micro-zoned by somebody who is not a member of the parliament, that is outside the parliament, but determines what we are going to do as parliamentarians. I will go against that anytime, any day.
You just said something that Tajudeen is a worthy candidate.
Yes.
What it takes and stuff like
yes.
that. But besides all those challenges,
yes.
Why? Because is it because of your interest, or what about what the candidate brings to the table? If the ruling party decides to come out with Tajudeen as their candidate, and when you look at the characteristics of Tajudeen and what he brings to the table, don't you think you should shift your own personal interest and look at the interest of the nation?
There is something I said here.
Yeah.
Believe me, all the candidates aspiring, both Batara, Mariam, Wase, Gadi, Sadasule, all of them are ably qualified. When it comes to the House leadership, it makes up of all members brings all their ideas and everything, and at the end of the day, we agree on a particular position of the House concerning any issue. It's not a decision of one man, be you a speaker or deputy or anything. So it takes all of us to work together on an issue and come on an agreement, an agreeable solution concerning any issues that comes up in the House. So all of them are qualified.
Okay, I'm moving away from that.
Yes.
One of the things that a lot of people talk about concerning the Night Assembly is the fact that it seems to be a rubber stamp assembly.
Yes.
Everything that is brought by the executive is endorsed. How do you think this? Would you think 10th Assembly will also go the same line?
Why it is so is because of the way the 10th Assembly was elected. The party came down hard to make sure that their candidates emerged. And they microzoned it as of then too. Even though that it was not much as pronounced as it is today, but today, during the 9th Assembly, they said Southwest. And Femi emerged from the Southwest. I don't think they microzoned it to Femi, particularly as of that time. But they already have someone in mind when they zoned it to the Southwest. Had it been that the same way, the same application was done during this upcoming 10th Assembly, it would have been different.
Well, when you are talking about it, you are a member of the Labour Party.
Yes.
The ruling party, which has majority in the House, I've shown it less.
No, sorry, let me correct you here. They don't have the majority.
Okay, for the House of Rep.
If you put the combination of all other political parties, we are the majority in the House. Yeah. But we are not even competing with them on who becomes the speaker. Yeah. We are ready to work with them. Yeah. So they are not the majority.
But when we're talking about the internal democracy,
yes.
Because at the end of the day, some of you, it's like the candidate you are supporting, will still run for the office because the election there will still be an election.
Of course.
So people will still have right to decide whichever way they want to go.
Of course. People are running because people like me disagree with microzone. Yeah. And that's why you see aspirants also that disagree with it. They are members of APC. No member of Minority Caucus is running for the position of the speakership or deputy speakership. It's still APC issue. And to some of us who are members of the minority, we disagree with the microzone of the APC. And that's where we stand.
Okay, you standing on that, but moving away from that, trying to get the right. Hopefully, in time, we'll be able to find a resolution where the right candidate that will serve the interest of the nation.
Yes.
We emerge at the end of the day.
Yes.
But one of the major things we also we talked about is the fact that the Night Assembly, the amount of money borrowed under this outgoing administration is unprecedented in the history of Nigeria.
Yes.
And this Right Assembly continue to rubber stamp every borrowing procedure put before them. How do we ensure that we don't fall into the same trap in the 10th Assembly? You
see, that is what happens when a certain people out of government microzone and determine the fate of the leadership of the House. Already, the line that the House will toe has already been decided. And having said that, that doesn't mean that the House that we are in the House to antagonize whatever is the policy or the agenda of the government. No, the two houses, the two arms of government must work together to achieve for Nigerians. And let me say this, whether we like it or not, the incoming government that will come in the office must borrow to be able to start up whatever they are going to do. But having said that, it is very disgusting that Nigeria at this time should still be borrowing to finance their budget. While we have things that can give us the money. Do you talk of today? We are talking about half of our oil export is being stolen. And we're not talking about it. So one should be screaming about it. Nobody. Today there is mining all over the country, and we cannot see the impact of these mining activities in our economy. So we are being deceived. We can do more than that. We can do better than that. I'm looking at the assembly that will look into some major issues that are disturbing this country, like state policing. Because without security, do you know how much Nigeria is spending on security alone in this country? If we can tackle these security issues and get it over with, the money that we can save from it can do a lot for us as a country.
Are you one of those who believe there should be state policing?
Yes, I believe that that is the only solution that can nip this our security problem in the bud.
But we are also wary of politicians who, because of they have the power to decide it at the security of their state, use it to be also to victimize their opponents.
This will be regulated by the House on how the activities of the state police can be carried out. We are not giving a blank check to the governors of the states. You can as well say that the president can do a similar thing. A president is a member of a political party, so he has to take sides also.
Because that's where the danger comes from. We know the system, how the system works in Nigeria. Even though we know, according to law, there are limitations.
Tolu,
but in reality, it's different.
How can you throw? They say don't throw a child with the bathwater. Yeah. Because of that, you totally, throw away what state policing can do for us in this country. I disagree with you.
So you believe that state policing may be the solution to some of the security?
It is part of the solution to this country. That is the only way that we can get out of this problem.
Will you also be pushing for that in the 10th?
I will be pushing for that. I will be pushing for the independence of the local government councils also. I have been a councillor. Yeah. I know the impact that the local government can have in this national administration if they can handle the funds directly, and we are able to carry out projects in our different communities. They can also contribute to our, as part of the organs of government that will oversee the issues of security. Part of the local policing can come from them if they have enough fund. But they're not having. The state government takes everything. And even the only thing they give them is how much is your wage bill. They will check the wage bill, and then if the chairman smiles at them, maybe it's their boy that they like, they will give him maybe some few millions to go there and put one borehole that will not be functional after 6 months.
But are we not having local government chairmen and councillors who are dancing to the whims and caprices of the powers that be at the state level? Are we not, even if you say you are giving the power to the local government,
yes,
they'll sit down to because they ensure that they emerge.
Now, okay, to look at this. If there is any one important bill that Nigeria should revisit, is even Electoral Act.
Yes.
If we don't put the process of electing our leaders in order, we cannot get the best out of them. We cannot. If I, for one, knows that I can get elected by conniving with the police and 1 or 2 people, and my election is done, then I don't need to do the wish of the people. All I'll be thinking, looking at, is how I can settle those who can help me to get myself elected. Once we get our electoral process right, get our security right, I think every other thing will fall in place. We have issues to do. We have state policing. We have electoral bill. We have local government bill. We have to visit energy bill, consumer protection bill. Today, I can tell you that if you go to some villages in my constituency, someone that is living in one bedroom with a public toilet, not even a room self-contained, is paying up to 10,000-15,000 for electric bill. Because he's not metered. Can you believe it? You are paying a house rent for 60,000.
Metered bill.
For 60,000, and here you are paying another 160,000 under estimated bill. That is outrageous.
It's outrageous. Seriously, outrageous. So looking at it, looking at the constituency you are coming from, talking about Ahmad Buhari constituency, yes. There are so many challenges being faced by the people from the constituency. What are some of the major things that you think the Federal House of Rep you will also be pushing for to better the lot of the people in the Ahmad Buhari constituency? My
brother, Abuja have a lot of problems. I can tell you because I have been participating in Abuja's political activity since 1997. I was first elected councillor in 1998. I represented Gwarimpa Ward in Abuja Municipal Area Council. And I can tell you to today, more than 40% to 45% of our primary schools, if you go there, you will see no roof, no chairs, no floor. Look, this is a state governed by the President of the Federal Republic. Mr. President cannot be saying that the governors are not doing well while the schools in your own state as the president.
But that should be the responsibility of the minister for the state. Minister for
appointed is a representative of the president. So whatever the minister does is what the president has asked him to do. If the minister is not taking care of the schools in FCT, you blame the president, not only the minister, because he's running the function of the president as a minister. He's an appointee, and that's why part of the issues I want to see carried out in the House is the issue of mayoral status for Abuja. Okay. Because today, if we have a mayor in Abuja, that mayor will know that our school should be functional. Yeah. Our hospitals, most of the hospitals built in Abuja today were built by the military. Even the subsequent civilian administration cannot maintain these hospitals. We lack doctors, we lack nurses in our hospitals.
How can we have doctors?
If you go there now, you will find out that some patients are lying down on the hallway because there's not enough bed for them to be admitted. Some women that delivered in our hospital are hurriedly discharged because to make space for others, even when their condition is not still suitable. And we are talking about maternal mortality. Why will people die? When somebody that has delivered that is not in good shape, you force that person to go home so that you can make space. Is it that we don't have enough funding in FCT? FCT gets more than what 3-4 states are not getting together. And with such investment by government in FCT, we are not doing anything new. We are not building more hospitals. We are not opening up our rural communities. There is no roads. That's why, okay, look at Mbappe coming here. Go out now, you will not see. For you to go down just a kilometer road, it will take you up to 1 hour in Federal Capital Territory. We are not serious.
Okay, still talking about some of the things that you'll be looking at as the 10 member, as a members elect, talking about the 10th Assembly. You mentioned the Electoral Act.
Yes.
The 9th Assembly tried to work on the Electoral Act.
Yes.
And it was not accepted to the presidency.
Yes.
How do we have a departure from this? Because it's important. You talked about the importance of having the right electoral to elect the next candidate. It's important that we get it right.
My brother, there is a process in lawmaking. And there is a provision whereby after the lawmakers have made the law and the president refused to assent to it, that same bill can come and there can be the House can override the president and pass that law into place. We can still be used. When you have a National Assembly that have a leadership that knows what is what is for the people, that's why the 10th Assembly can never be the same with the 9th Assembly. If you don't know, you have 7 different political parties today in this 10th Assembly. So it cannot be business as usual. The minorities are more. Even when we are allowing APC as the majority party, not as majority in the House, to have their way. But there was work with the wish of the people. This time. We are in trouble in this country. Nothing is working. Me and you know that, Tolu. Nothing is working today. Even if I bring it down to the FCT as it is, nothing is working.
Okay, while we're talking about some of the things that were not assented to, and you said the National Assembly also have the power to pass into act, we also know that even when they pass it to act, if the president does not give support to it, it will be dead on arrival. But we're looking at one of the one of the things that also pushed by the National Assembly was the Peace Corps, because you also mentioned security,
yes,
which is very, very vital.
Yes.
If you are able to combat the state of insecurity we are facing in this country.
Yes.
The president also did not assent to it, even when it was worked on twice. How important is it?
My brother, yes, Peace Corps issue will be revisited by the 10th Assembly. But let us look at the existing security apparatus that we have today in the country. The existing one, the Nigerian police. Have we funded it? The immigration. We have porous borders. Do we have enough arms to man it? This will also create job for the Nigerian people. Let us talk about customs. People are bringing arms and ammunition from all sides. We can improve on it. We can give them the kind of equipment they can use to tackle smuggling in Nigeria. We can, upgrade our immigration services. We can upgrade our police. We can also upgrade the capacity of our military. They have been doing that. But the area that they have not been focusing on is areas like immigration, customs, and police have been neglected. Much more need to be done within that circle. If you don't do that, our borders will be porous. They will bring in arms. Even no matter the amount of money you give the army to be tackling the insecurity, without trying to block the influx of arms from the border, it will be effort in futility.
Okay, in addition to what you have been saying, talking about some of these challenges right there, and also looking at the 10th Assembly, we've been talking with Honorable Chinedu Obeka. We have been federal as member-elect, rep-elect, Federal House of Constituency, talking about the Federal House of Representatives right there, and we're looking forward to looking at the 10th Assembly, how we can ensure that the mistakes made by the 9th Assembly is not repeated in the 10th Assembly. And he's been talking to us about so many of these issues and the challenges they will definitely be visiting once they are brought into office. And one other area is the petroleum industry bill, which has been a major problem. We know the challenges. How do we ensure that this bill also gets to be passed?
Well, the 9th Assembly has worked on it.
Yes, they worked on it.
I don't have the required information on this bill, so I cannot speak on it. But when we get into the House and have the proper information, I can be able to contribute, and the General House can be able to contribute and see how we can modify on it and improve on it for the benefit of Nigerian people.
While we're talking about that, we're talking about this because one of the recent things that happened recently is the refinery opened in Lagos.
Yes.
It's through a public-private partnership.
Yes.
And it's so to solve the interest of to solve some of the challenges you have been facing when it comes to getting fuel across the length and breadth of this country.
Yes.
How important can that? Because looking at the subsidy issue, that is a lot of people have been talking about, and the incoming administration has also been talking about the removal of subsidy. Will it also help to alleviate the suffering of the mass?
Do you know what? I think that is where one of the areas that Buhari administration has gotten it wrong so much in this country. If Buhari's administration is not fair with the incoming government, be it Labour, be it APC, whoever that the court of competent jurisdiction says that he is, because the case is in the court, is not being fair to any of them coming in. What Buhari's administration would have done with all the money that he has borrowed is to create the enabling environment for the introduction of removal of subsidy. How can you do that? Let me use Abuja as a case study. Till now, Abuja don't have a proper transportation master plan. A city like Abuja. By now, between these 8 years, we should have had a monorail or even a tram system within this Abuja
Within the
city. At least from maybe Suleja down to the city. from Maraba down to the city. Let me tell you, we don't even need the Chinese to fund this. Our indigenous companies can fund this and get their money back. I can tell you that more than 300,000 people comes from these areas into the city every day. You can imagine if these 300 people pay like 200 naira each to come in, times 200 by 300,000 daily. Can you see the amount of the income?
Yeah.
There is no money that you borrowed to finance such a project that you cannot recover in few years to come. Why are we investing in the wrong places? That is what I don't know. So this can be done here. By the time you have created this kind of monorail, or you have created a bus system whereby people can pay, not managed by the government. Government have no business with transportation or any kind of business, because we will do it with favoritism and it will die. Look at all the L5 buses. Are you still seeing them? They are all gone. Billions of naira spent on them. Today they are being parked here and there. Can see just few of them. But today, let me say this. If a man knows that he can go from here and live in Abaji, and he can pay a bus pass for the whole month for 15,000, and in the morning when he wakes up, he comes to the bus station, bus takes him from Abaji to Abuja, there is no need to stay in municipal and be paying rent for 2 million. He can decide to take his entire family and go to Abaji, where he can get a flat, a bungalow, for 200,000.
That he can afford.
That he can afford. We are forcing people to live in the city that they don't want to live. And that man can access some other agricultural land that he can use to cultivate, and that will be part of source of revenue for his family as well. And that will decentralize development in every councils within Abuja FCT. Assuming now you have a young man that got a job that they are paying him 40,000, and he's living in maybe Kuje or living in Gwagwalada, to come to that work every day and go back at the end of the day, we take all that 40,000. But if there is a monorail or a bus system that he can pay 15,000, already he knows that 15,000 has covered his transportation for the month. He can boast of having 25,000 remaining. That will change everything for us. If we can put such things in place, or if Buhari has done such things across the board, work on transportation, work on education, because today, because of the situation of the public schools in FCT, that is the worst public school I have seen in this country, in FCT. In fact, who to be the minister of FCT should declare emergency in education. The teachers we have today in our primary schools in FCT, the politicians are just patronizing the members of their political parties with teaching jobs. They cannot even teach our children. So go to those schools that are not functional. People are forced to go to private schools and pay hundreds of thousands that they don't have. So if they can repair our schools and public schools, and the parents knows that they can take their child to school and pay 20,000 naira, and they get the required education. Look, take off subsidy, people will get that.
Interesting right there. And we've been talking with Honorable Chinedu Obika, he's the Reps-elect Amak Buhari Federal Constituency right there. He's been talking extemporaneously about what he plans to do, and also what some of the challenges are facing this country, and how we can be able to ameliorate the suffering of the people. It's been an interesting time talking with him right there. Just before I let you go, Honorable, quick one right there. Looking towards the 10th Assembly, what would be the uppermost thing in your mind that you want that can really better the lot of people?
I will bring it down to my constituency. You know, we talk about insecurity also.
Yeah.
That insecurity is affecting Abuja. Today, there are areas in Abuja that you cannot stand by the roadside by 6 p.m. You will not see your phone. You will not see even, they can even take your clothes out of your body. Today in FCT, the city of power, insecurity is everywhere. Part of what is causing this insecurity, one, go into the cities, you will see shanties. These shanties is a result of government not doing what they're supposed to do to make sure that the indigenous people of FCT are compensated, resettled, or integrated. So the shanties are still there because they are there. For us to help to curb insecurity in Abuja, we have to make sure that those shanties are cleared off by a way of integration or resettlement. So I'm looking at proposing for Indigenous People Development Commission in Abuja. That will help to tackle the issue of resettlement and compensation and tackle the issue of funding of education in FCT. FCT indigenous were predominantly farmers before now. Now lands have been taken away from them, and you need to give them something back that they can build upon. That is education. That is one bill that is very important to me also.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for being with us this morning and also enlightening us so many things that needed to be done right there. We've been talking with Comrade Chinedu Obika right there. He's the representative for Mark Buhari, Federal constituency. We wish you all the best in the 10th Assembly. And hopefully we can be able to follow up on some of the things, the bills we'll be pushing at the 10th Assembly.